September 14th, 1944. We arrived in Estonia a few days ago, and the landscape is beautiful endless forests and lakes stretching as far as the eye can see. But none of us are here to admire the view. The Soviets are pushing hard, and we've been sent to reinforce the crumbling front lines. The men are exhausted from months of retreat, and morale is low. Still, we have no choice but to fight. Estonia is our last foothold in the Baltic, and if we lose it, there's nowhere else to fall back. The locals, the Estonians, watch us with wary eyes. Some of them hate the Soviets just as much as we do, but others see us as occupiers. It's hard to tell who's on our side anymore. I feel like we're fighting a war on all fronts against the Soviets, against the partisans, and against time itself. September 16th, 1944. The Soviets attacked early this morning. It started with artillery, like always, pounding our positions for what felt like hours. The ground shook and dirt rained down on us in the trenches. We huddled together, trying to keep our heads down. When the barrage finally stopped, they came at us in waves, charging through the mist that clung to the forest. We fought back as best we could, but they had tanks, and we had almost nothing. Our anti-tank guns were few, and many had been destroyed in the bombardment. I saw one of our men stand his ground, firing a Panzerfaust at a Soviet tank as it rolled towards him. He hit it square in the side, and the tank exploded, but the soldier didn't make it. A shell ripped through his chest, just as he pulled the trigger. I'll never forget the look on his face. We managed to hold the line, but only just. The Soviets pulled back for now, but we all know they'll be back soon, and with more force. It feels like we're just delaying the inevitable. September 18th, 1944. The fighting hasn't stopped. Every day, more Soviet troops pour into the area. They're determined to push us out of Estonia, and we're barely holding on. The forests are our only advantage, thick enough to give us cover, but also a nightmare to navigate. The enemy seems to appear from nowhere, flanking us before we can even react. We've been ordered to dig in deeper, but we're running out of supplies. The ammunition is low, and the food is worse. Some of the men haven't eaten in days. The constant artillery fire has left us all on edge. Every time I close my eyes, I hear the thunder of guns and the screams of the wounded. It feels like there's no end to this. September 20th, 1944. Today was the worst yet. The Soviets launched a full-scale assault, throwing everything they had at us. Our trenches were overrun, and we were forced to retreat deeper into the forest. I lost count of how many men we left behind. Some were wounded, begging for help, but there was nothing we could do. We had to leave them, or we would have been captured too. I've seen war before, but this is different. It's like fighting an unstoppable force. No matter how many of them we kill, more keep coming. And we are fewer every day. The men are starting to talk about surrendering, but we all know what that means if the Soviets capture us. September 24th, 1944. We've been ordered to retreat towards the coast. The situation is hopeless now, and everyone knows it. We've lost most of our heavy weapons, and what's left of the division is in tatters. The only thing keeping us going is the hope of evacuation. Rumor has it that ships will take us back to Germany, but I'm not sure I believe it. As we march through the woods, I can't shake the feeling that this is the end. Estonia is lost, and soon will be too. The Soviets are closing in from all sides, and the Luftwaffe is nowhere to be seen. The men are quiet, too tired, and beaten down to even speak. I've fought in many places: Poland, France, Russia, but something about this feels different. There's a finality to it. We all know that once Estonia falls, the war will soon follow.